Hi all, Marissa Rushlow with Linguabilities here, coming to talk to you today about accent modification. Let's start with a quick definition. Accent modification, sometimes known as accent reduction, is a voluntary training with a therapist or teacher designed to help you speak with a different accent. There's a lot of reasons someone might pursue this service. In short, an accent is the way in which we pronounce sounds along with some dialectal differences like expressions, vocabulary, or pragmatic use of language. These things are all cultural and depend on where you originally came from and what your first language is. I speak with a Midwestern accent, which is typically the accent that you'll hear on the news or major broadcasts in America. There are tons of accents in every country, and it can be a real learning curve to pick up the nuances of a different accent, even if you're a completely fluent speaker of that language. Think about trying to sound like you're from Boston if you've never been there. As an American, I would really struggle to distinguish between a London accent and a Welsh accent because I'm not from that region. So why do people pursue this? For one, people learning English as a second language may want to sound more American or more British, depending on where they work and live. Other people seek out these services, such as actors and performers preparing for a role where they need to speak with an accent different than their own. It doesn't necessarily mean learning to sound more American. It just means learning an accent different than your original one. The reasons for wanting to pursue accent modification are very personal, from trying to be more understood to building business relationships or trying to fit a role. Many people can teach these courses, from speech therapists like me to ESL teachers or dialect coaches. For speech therapists, we make a big distinction between a service like accent modification, which is elective, and treating a speech and language disorder like stuttering. Accent modification is purely voluntary, meaning that the reason you come to see us is based on a language difference rather than a language disorder. You're choosing to pursue this service because you want to sound different, not because anything is wrong with the way that you already sound. It's completely fine to have an accent different from the one around you. It's just your decision if you want to adapt it. One important point to note is that because this is elective, it's never covered by insurance, but that doesn't mean it's not a worthy project for someone who's motivated. So what are some of the things we work on? Well, a good accent modification teacher will do an assessment with you to look at a variety of factors, like your articulation and intelligibility, or how much we can understand what you say, how well you understand differences in vowels and consonants in the accents you want to have, your vocabulary usage, rate of speech, your understanding and use of idioms and expressions, and your intonation and pitch. This is what should drive any treatment recommendations, including goals and the frequency and duration of your treatment program. Ultimately, though, what you want to work on in treatment, that's going to be driven by what you want to achieve. Some people come in wanting to improve their business vocabulary, while others really want to work on the sound of their speech so they don't stand out so much as a foreigner. Deciding to pursue accent modification is a very personal decision, but I love helping people who decide to do so. It's amazing to learn the fine nuances of what makes your accent different from your target accent and how we can make that change. If you're interested in learning more about how to get into accent modification, check out my links in the description where you can book a free call to chat about your options. No obligations, no pressure. I don't believe in forcing you to do anything. But I'd love to chat with you about how we can completely change the way you sound. Hope you found this informative, and I hope to talk with you soon.